Hal Jordan Green Lantern is back. Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Hal Jordan has returned as a Green Lantern, Kilowog is dead, and Hal is no longer in the Green Lantern Corps. But it seems like something has gone awry, as the yellow and blue power batteries have exploded, and now Razor is here to ask for Hal's help. This is Green Lantern 8, 9, and 10. This was a video that Benny had made for members that I now want to make available for everyone, so I hope you enjoy.
Hal Jordan stares in shock as Razor begins his tale. The former Blue Lantern explaining that he was back on Odom, learning to live his life in peace, when suddenly the blue central battery just exploded, bathing the planet in fire. The entire planet began to die off, no longer kept alive by its power battery, but the Blue Lanterns still held out hope. That was until the pirates arrived. The aliens arrived and killed and enslaved the surviving lanterns. Razor managed to escape and stow away on one of the pirate ships, only later to realize that they were on their way to Earth to sell a shipment of weapons. After he finishes his story, Hal Jordan shakes his head in disbelief. "I can't believe it, Razor. The blue central power battery is gone?" he says softly, and Razor nods his head. "It's not the only one. I've heard rumors that the power batteries on Yasmalt and New Korugar have been eliminated as well. Someone is targeting central power batteries all over the universe." Razor tells him. He asks Hal Jordan to help him return to Oa and warn the Guardians of the Universe. But Hal Jordan shakes his head. The Guardians are gone. They don't run the Green Lanterns anymore. The United Planets are in charge now. Hal explains. "Then we should go to them," Razor tells him, and Hal nods his head, but explains that he can't leave the planet. His new ring isn't really a Green Lantern ring, and he's unable to leave Earth's atmosphere without it losing power. "Or maybe you don't want to leave the atmosphere, Hal?" Razor suggests. So Hal tries once more. He rockets up into the air, going away from the Earth. And every time that he gets too high, the ring shuts down and he plummets back to the planet. Finally, Hal has no choice but to admit that it isn't his willpower that is the problem. It's something keeping him on Earth. He returns to his trailer to find Razor resting in his chair drinking a soda. "No go. Whatever's keeping me here isn't my will to leave," Hal says with a shake of his head. Razor nods and shrugs. "Then we'll have to find another way out of here," he says. But they're interrupted as a car pulls up and Carol Ferris jumps out, anger flashing across her face as she rushes at Hal Jordan. "What the hell is going on? You just have this giant battle with Sinestro and then you come to your trailer to drink?" she demands to know. Hal tries to explain, but Carol shakes her head. "We were worried, Hal. I was worried," she tells him. She then finally notices Razor, who explains that he is an old friend of Hal's. "We were discussing how he should be helping me save the universe instead of drinking the dew of the mountain in these less than desirable accommodations." Carol turns to Hal in surprise. "You're leaving? Again?" Hal steps forward, asking her if there's a reason to stay. "All you have to do is tell me to stay, Carol. I'll do it." She shakes her head and turns to leave, getting in her car, driving off into the night. Razor suggests to Hal that he should have told Carol how he feels before it's too late. But Hal shakes his head. "She knows how I feel. It's up to her now." He transforms into a Green Lantern, picking up Razor, explaining that there is someone that they need to go see for help. He flies them both to Greenwich Village in New York, where they arrive at the shop of Madame Xanadu. The magic user is already awaiting them, sitting at her table with tarot cards laid out before her. "She's a friend who can help, Razor. She's a powerful magic user," Hal explains after introducing the pair. Hal and Razor sit down at Xanadu's table, explaining the problem with Hal's ring. She reaches out for it, her eyes suddenly rolling back. "Something is calling out! The green guards the secret! Go to the place where you feel the power. It will grant you entry," she suddenly says, and Hal is surprised, but does remember that he felt a surge of power over Spain when he was fighting against Sinestro. Razor nods. "Then we have to go to where this magic user says," the former Lantern says, but Xanadu suddenly looks up in alarm. "Outside, intruders!" she shouts before the wall explodes inward, throwing the three of them to the floor, a green light shining through the smoke, and Hal Jordan looks in surprise to see three Green Lanterns floating above them. You thought you could run from us forever. No evil can escape the United Planet Lantern's sight, Razor, the Bird Lantern says, looking down at Hal Jordan. Green Lantern, I see you have caught our prey. Please bring him into our custody, and this accomplishment will be reflected on your file. The other says, but the three note that Hal Jordan isn't in the standard issue uniform and that his ring isn't registering on their database. Hal shakes his head, gritting his teeth. Yeah, because I'm not a United Planets Lantern. I'm a Green Lantern, and this is my sector. Razor and I were looking for a way to tell the United Planets that someone is destroying the central power batteries, and we need your help to stop them. Hal explains, but the Lanterns just stare at him. By the order of the United Planets, you are using an undesignated Green Lantern ring in a quarantined area. Both you and the criminal known as Razor will be reprimanded. The Bird Lantern says. Hal shakes his head, creating a construct that knocks the Lanterns away. The hell I am! He snaps before shouting for Razor and Xanadu to get to cover. A green ram flies out of the smoke, knocking him away, and Razor tries to help by throwing rocks at the Lanterns, but they quickly form shields to block him. A green construct reaching out to seize him, but Hal Jordan destroys it with his own bolt cutter construct. Any way to talk this one out peacefully? Hal asks as he charges at the Bird Lantern, but the bird suddenly transforms into a yellow lantern. There is no peace outside of the United Planet's reach. There's only chaos and evil shall fear our sight. The Lantern shouts. Meanwhile, Razor is trying to escape. I'll never go with you, he shouts, but the Lanterns suddenly transform into a blue lantern before Razor's eyes. I hope you don't, the Blue Lantern says before hitting him with a blast of energy. Hal manages to destroy the yellow constructs, but when he looks back to where the Lanterns were, they've escaped with Razor as their prisoner. They took him, your friend, Xanadu explains as she joins Hal. And I can't follow, he says. She tells him to follow her words, to seek out the power of the green. And Hal, be careful. I fear your path going forward is a dangerous one, Xanadu says before Hal flies away. He heads to Spain, to the place where he felt the power. He lands where he feels it's the strongest, and the earth suddenly opens up for him, revealing a massive cavern that leads far below. Okay, an ominous hole in the ground has opened up, almost inviting me in. Could be a trap, or it could be the only way to help my friends. Hal whispers to himself before walking into the darkness. He floats down into the dark hole until he finally arrives at the ending and is bathed in light. He floats down into the massive cavern where the green has bloomed into a place of life, waterfalls flowing, a massive tree sitting in the center of the cavern. What is this place? Hal asks as he stares at it in wonder. He turns in surprise as a voice answers him. A secret, Tom Kalmaku says as he steps out of the forest, Hal rushing to his friend, hugging him in surprise. I don't understand. Shouldn't you be turning wrenches somewhere? Hal nods and explains that he was called here, that he had a dream where one of the Guardians came to him in the night and explained that he had been chosen to protect this place until Hal Jordan arrived. I am the last of the new Guardians, Tom explains as he leads Hal to the massive tree. I was told that the green would conceal what's here for a time, and I was called to guard it until a lantern arrived, and so you have. Tom says as he reaches out a hand. He suddenly floats up into the air, bathed in a green lantern's light. Hal watches in surprise as the light blasts away the tree, revealing what it's been covering. It can't be. Hal gasps as he sees a massive green power battery. Tom lands on the ground, all of his power now gone. He explains that the Owens left it for the Lanterns of Earth, explaining that they needed to protect it because they were more willful than any other species in the universe. And this is why he felt the pull of power during his fight with Sinestro. He holds out his ring to charge it, but the ring suddenly disappears. Don't worry, that ring was a byproduct, a shadow of a ring. But now, you need something more permanent, Tom tells him. He glows green again and reaches down to the Earth. The Earth shakes as an altar rises up out of it, holding several power rings. There's enough here for each member of 2814. You can make more, add to your members, do whatever you need to, but it's going to take time, Tom explains, and Hal walks forward slowly, reaching out for a ring. A real ring. I could finally go back to Oa. Find out what these rogue lanterns want with Razor. He puts the ring on, but nothing happens, and Tom just smiles. You gotta charge it, Hal. Hal nods, walking to the battery, holding out his hand, reciting the oath that he has spoken so many times in the past. With each word, he can feel himself growing stronger, and he begins to glow with an inner light. "In the brightest day, and the blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power! Green Lantern's light!" he shouts out, and with this done, Tom packs up his things, explaining that his task is now complete, and he's returning to his family. But he wishes Hal Jordan the best of luck on this mission. "Take care, Green Lantern," he says before walking away. And Hal Jordan, now feeling more powerful once more, rockets back up to the surface of Earth. He doesn't stop, though. He flies into the upper atmosphere. The ring doesn't shut down, and he rockets into space until he finally looks back at the planet that he loves. He smiles as he feels the ring's power, and he rockets off into space, using the ring's abilities to push him faster and faster, pushing past the speed of light as the green energy flows around him. But he suddenly comes out of the flight in the middle of a war zone, with lanterns opening fire on a massive spaceship. Hal pulls up in shock at the carnage. "United Planet Corps members, the spectral field has slowed the advancing ship from leaving Sector 2814. Take the right flank and..." the Bird Lantern says before stopping short and recognizing Hal Jordan. "You!" he snarls. Hal nods, hitting him with a green construct of himself. "Me." He agrees, and the other lanterns see this attack and charge at him. Hal flies around them, trying to avoid their constructs before they suddenly transform into red lanterns. These red lanterns are too powerful. They lock down Hal in red chain constructs, and Hal struggles, but he can't seem to break free as the red lanterns drag him down to Oa. "Take him to the Great Hall. We'll interrogate him before the science cells," the Red Lantern leader orders. And Hal tries to remain calm, knowing that he has to wait for the right moment. But that moment comes quicker than he thinks, as the Red Lanterns land and the wall suddenly explodes outward, revealing a green tank construct. Knocked away, the red chains suddenly disappear. "What now?" Hal says as he turns to the tank, the hatch opening at the top, revealing a familiar smiling face. "Hello, Hal Jordan. You need a lift?" Joe Mulligan says.
And there you have it, Green Lantern 8, 9, and 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sadly, this was Benny's last Green Lantern video. So, in honor of him, let's recite the oath. "In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light." Rest in peace, Benny.